Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another review for Halloween month. Now, it just boggles me, like, okay, my previous review, the god-awful piece of shit, low-budget movie, Shark Exorcist, right? God-awful garbage. Now, here's a film that I do enjoy. And what saddens though, this is like made like almost the same budget for Shark Exorcist, almost around the same budget, and yet this film was more effective and more interesting, more entertaining than that movie is. And now this film did some things a little bit differently as well, considering this film is a found footage film. And there are found footage films that I like. Of course, The Blair Witch Project is an all-time classic. As Above, So Below, that's a good one too. St. Francisville Experiment. The Tunnel, as well. There's a couple other ones that I like, but for a found footage film, like, usually found footage films have a downbeat, but most of the time have a downbeat ending or something like that, though, right? Not all the time, though. Like, as Above, So Below had a different ending. Same with St. Francisville Experiment. But this film, I thought it was an interesting way on taking on a found footage film, and also taking on a different way on another subject, especially making a found footage film. So the film for this found footage film I'm reviewing is called Afflicted. This was released, I guess, it premiered in 2013 though, but it was released in the U.S. and Canada in 2014 though. But as you can see, probably in the title, I'll probably put it as 2013 is where the year it originally came from. So Afflicted, this film, like I said, originally in 2013, right? So it's a found footage film, which actually, it's like it was made around the same budget as Shark Exorcist, and yet this film was much more entertaining, and interesting, and better with its budget than that film did. And this film was found footage, you know. So and the two guys who direct this film, they not only they direct this film, but they they wrote this film and starred in the film. So yeah, there are two guys right here. They directed, wrote, and starred in the movies, and they did a pretty damn good job in this movie while making this film. And it's sad these guys never did anything afterwards after this. This film did get praise, as an 83% Rotten Tomatoes. It won award. It was nominated. It won a lot of awards. This film did. It won for the Best Canadian First Feature Film, Maria Award for Best Special Effects at the Stygies. Sorry for mispronouncing the name. It was nominated for Maria Award for Best Motion Pictures at the Stygies, Best Director of Horror Features, the Austin Fantastic Fest, for best, and also for Best Picture, and also won for Best Screenplay. So this film got a lot of praise from critics, and it won some awards. Which is the Horror Fear Fest right here. And they could call it truly impressive and seriously creepy. Back here, exciting and expertly done, and also fresh and frightening. Well, I was nothing creepy or scary about it, but still. But yeah, this one got a lot of praise and it won awards. And the two guys who made this film, who did a really great job with this movie, they never going to do anything afterwards. And that just totally sucks. It is. It totally sucks. And they made a very interesting movie for a found footage film. So getting into the story of it, our two guys, which is actually their character's name is their real first names, really enough. Derek Lee and Cliff Prowse. Now, they were best friends, like, say, forever, and Derek is sort of like you say he's dying because he has this disease called AVM, and they decided to go like for like Derek's like final request, so they wanted to travel around the world. They want to travel around the world because they say they can just die at any day now. So why not make the most of it? So they decided to travel around the world with their traveling, make a travel web series called Ends of the Earth. So they travel out around the world. And it shows how great these two buddies are. How it shows they are best friends. And these two guys I really did like. And the characters themselves, though, they were very good characters. And then until one day, what country they're in, Derek sees this girl, sort of like looking at him, right? And they were in Italy, right? They were in Italy, and Jared wakes up like he's been bitten, right? He's been bitten, and which leads to, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing, an idea, that he has vampirism. So it's like Wade turning into a vampire. It's not like a vampire that's typically, like, oh, I want to suck your blood or stuff like that, or it's not that type of vampirism. Although sunlight does hurt the guy, because there was an effect. There was a scene where they test out where sunlight hurts him, and you see like his arm, skin, his hand, and the arm like kind of like a little bit dissolving. So, and the effects in this film, considering it almost had the same budget as Shark Exorcist, the effects in here are 5 times better than we saw I got in Shark Exorcist, because everything was cheap, almost like it cost like $30. It doesn't cost $300,000. It cost like a film would cost like it was $30. This one was almost the same budget as this, and the effects in here are so much better. And it's a lot of good gory stuff, and the idea, like I said, how this guy's like his vampirism, like he gets like superhuman strength, speed and agility, and all that stuff, right? And they'd go on and test him and stuff, but there's of course with vampirism there's a catch to it. And he needs blood, right? But in a way, but if he doesn't feed, right? If he doesn't feed, he goes like, what's the term, like crazy, right? Well, it's not always he's going crazy, just I prefer there's another word that when he goes crazy, or it gets the monster side of him comes out now, and he eats a person, and then afterwards he just snaps out of it, right? And then he feels bad about doing this stuff, which makes us interesting because we feel sympathy for our character, especially for our lead guy, Derek Lee. We feel sorry for the guy. He didn't want to do it, but he had no choice to, because he couldn't control himself. But when he did, he snaps out of it, and he feels bad for it after it. And there's a point where he wants to go to a hospital, but they don't want to do that, which that's kind of like the right choice, because hospitals, what are they going to do? What? And plus, if he's in an enclosed, isolated place with so many people, more people would have died. So I'm glad they didn't do that, because hey, if they did that, innocent people would have died. So, but it makes me feel bad for the characters, and his friend Cliff tries to help him, and excuse me. I guess I'm still feeling the effects afterwards of Shark Exorcist, I guess. But, and there's a point, more in how it was captured on found footage. Like I said, the effects I thought was really well done. Especially when there's a SWAT team that's after him, and like he rips a throat out, or where he throws one person over the stairs, I think it was. And just really good bloody effects, and to the point where his friend Cliff wants to stay with them, though, but Derek since he doesn't want his friend to get hurt, right? And he wants to make him a promise that if anything ever happens to me and this keeps on going on, just leave me, right? Because he cared about his friend, so he just leave me and get out of here, right? And just don't worry about me. Well, first he says, yeah, alright, but he says, no, I want you to make sure you do that. So he says yes, but of course that didn't happen, though, later. And they want to go find back. He wants to find the woman that bit him. But of course, afterwards, it comes to the point where his friend Cliff still stays with him, and Derek kills him. And he really feels really bad after what he's done, and to the point where he wants to kill himself. So he takes a shotgun and blows his brains out, and it's really good effect about how the back of his head just. Really good effect. Like I said, the stuff the effects in Shark Exorcist is god awful. Here is much more better, considering it's the same amount of budget, and this is done much miles better. But then he wakes up, and the girl's with him, saying that's you can't die, you cannot die. So he shows like the back of his head is all healed. It's kind of like this in a way, where it shows like here, whereas he blew his brains out, and it's healing. Interesting idea, and so saying like how he can't die, and afterwards where he makes one last video to say if when they uploads to saying that saying goodbye to his family, that he can never see them again because of all this. Until after that, he goes and meets with this one person who shows him videos of him sexually assaulting a kid, and the point where he kills the person, which I'm like, okay, you can begin. Well, he wasn't part of it, but he goes and kills. He actually kills a human bad guy, where the guy was wrong on doing this to the kid. So okay, yeah, it's a little vigilante right there. Sort of like in a way like either Punisher or Paul. What was it? Paul Kirby. From Death Wish, going after criminals. So yeah. Goes in and just kills that child molester basically, and then of course there is a mid credits in here back in Italy, that where actually Cliff, he's now a vampire now, and he goes and attacks these there are three teens, a guy and two girls, and he attacks one of the girls, and the guy gets attacked afterwards as he's filming it. So now Cliff, he's now a vampire now. So afterwards, when it hits like that, I wonder if I was curious to see if this ever got. Well, it hasn't been though, but I would have been curious to see a sequel to this, because after how it ends. Because the characters, the two lead guys, I like. The characters I liked him in. It shows the bottom of their friendship up until the end. And they did a really good job. And he felt sorry for our lead guy, Derek. He felt sorry for him, because he feels bad after what he has done. Make us sympathize with him. And effects, I thought was pretty good. Of course, there's a scene where he jumps off from a building. Showing his speed and agility and all that stuff. He jumps off a building, and speed and all that. Shows him when they're testing out his speed. Right, they're filming him outrunning a car. And like I said, the effects, like how it shows how his skin is like dissolving in the sunlight, down or some of the good gore effects, like ripping throats out, and or when he blows his brains out, a good effect shot of it. And for a found footage film, I thought it was an interesting one, and interesting ideas on taking on vampirism. And it's a really damn good movie, I would say. For a found, this is one of the good for a found footage one, was definitely one of the better ones, definitely. And it did something differently. It wasn't a typical downbeat ending, because we have these two guys you really like and felt sorry for especially for Derek, and because how they said their friendship and how they were great friends. But at the time, when he's done all the stuff, he feels bad about it, and he has no choice but to live with this now, since now he cannot die. He can't, because after shooting himself, it didn't work. And I said, this is a lot better, 10 times better than Shark Exorcist, considering, it was made around the same amount of budget, and yet this film, with effects-wise, character-wise, and plot story-wise, I understood everything completely, unlike with Shark Exorcist, the complete opposite, where I knew nothing what was going on, random characters I didn't know who they were, stuff that doesn't make no sense at all. So, and lo and behold, this one I thought was far more effective, so... But yeah, Afflicted, I did enjoy, and it's too bad these guys never got to work again, because I thought they made a damn good movie. They got my praise for it. Really good movie, found footage. It definitely made a very good, effective found footage film. Interesting idea, couple of interesting ideas. It was different, did something a little bit different, and it was an enjoyable one. So that's my thoughts on my review on Afflicted. I definitely give it a thumbs up, definitely. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next review for Halloween month. And if anyone's listening to this film, check it out. I recommend it. Later.